Now, Willie, go home. Go home, Willie. Go home. Airplanes are everywhere, you guys. Airplanes are everywhere. It's blinding. Stop, hide, run. You gotta also be a part of the video so that you two can also entertain with me. The audio was weird last time, so I didn't take any meds today. Hello. Hey guys, if you're new, welcome to this channel. I hope you're still watching this very long intro. If you've been here and you watched my previous video, y'all know I have hot flashes. That's the end of that coffee. Sometimes I get this kind of thing where I'm in a mood, you know? I'm in a mood where it's hard for me to talk. I get in a mood where I'm like, oh, I'm a little self-conscious now. Oh, I'm gonna be timid, let's be quiet. And then it kind of just happens that way. See, now that I'm forcing myself to not be that way, look, this other side of me is coming out. Okay. This is me though, not that weird shy person that was talking just now. That person's me too, but this person's the one I'm trying to put in front of the camera. And if I'm getting shiny already, you know why? If you've been here for a while, you know I got me some hot flashes, okay? Not thyroid related, mentally related, okay? Here we go. So I just wanted to start by saying I got this from a YouTube video I watched today. It's a sermon. It was titled, "It's Too Much Work Being a Negative Person" by Tim Delena. This is something that I've been struggling with, what I've been dealing with in my brain, still trying to learn how to be a better, more positive person. Things that I just wasn't aware of, things that I didn't know about myself. I guess I just want to talk first a little bit about me, how I have been as a negative person, and I'm sure there's many out there that can relate. Growing up, I've always been a negative person, always kind of saw things in a darker light. I think because naturally I was more attracted to darkness, if that makes sense, versus attracted to light and happiness. I was always attracted to... Okay, I'm sorry, Willie. There's a smell that comes from his paws that's very calming for some reason. I don't know why. And I wash his feet every time he comes in the house, so they're not like, you know, it's not like grass and stuff. Anyways, a negative person. I was, still can be, and is a very negative person. In my earlier years, it was just the way my mind would process everything. Only saw darkness in life, only saw sadness in life. All I could see was just the bad things in life. I was rude, I was cold, I was, still can be, also still very much can be, I guess depending on my state of mind that day. Everything I would put inside me, everything I would listen to growing up was always so dark and lonely and empty and angry, and I became this dark, lonely, empty, angry, hopeless human. Growing up, I so strongly believed that if I feel it, it must be true, which is so scary scary. Don't think that way. If anyone out there believes if I feel it, then it must be true. If I feel it must be true. I mean, depending on, I guess, the person too, you know, but but for the kind of person I was growing up, very negative, very just want to make sure there's nothing on here. Just clean your eyes, you know. Being as the type of person I was, everything just was that I could literally feel nothing else. For years, I felt nothing else except that, and it was torture. It was torture on myself. I could never see the good in people. I could never see anything good. It was always just bad. Because that's, you know, what my brain was doing. Years later, many years later, if I started from now, it's been maybe 5 years ago. It hasn't been that long. It hasn't been that long. I discovered... Why did it take me so long, by the way? Please, why did it take me so long? Anyways, all these lies I was telling myself, all these things that just were not true, whether it was about other people, myself, life in general. Like, there is so much beauty in life. Yes, there's so much darkness, but there's also so much beauty. And I'm not saying to just live in La La Land and only see the beauty things in life. Like, no. The reality is we live in a dark world. We do live in a dark world. We do live in a world where money is everything. Things are everything. That's the kind of world we live in. Money and things. Money and things. We gotta get more money. We gotta get more things. I mean, that's what the songs are teaching, right? Money and things, sex and drugs, stuff like that. Okay, well, even after learning and realizing things in myself and my perspective and how I was, everything I thought being this kind of person, I was just, in the end, realized I am just a negative person. We make up stories in our minds that may not even be true, and maybe it even makes us feel good to feel like we're figuring it out. We're staying 1 foot ahead of the game, you know what I mean? 1 foot ahead of our imaginary game of the battle of us against the world. And really, it's not even you against the world. It's not that dramatic. It's not that dramatic. I used to be very dramatic, very, anyways. 5 years ago, I realized what a negative person I was, how literally everything was just me against the world, feeling like, why is my life like this? How come God is doing this to me? Why does that person get to live like that, but I'm living like this? How come that person has that and I have this? 5 years ago, I realized that I was this person, and I was very selfish, very close-minded, saw things in a very dark, specific lens, you know? And finally, it was like those glasses came off and I could see what I was doing. I could see how I was thinking, and I was like, what is wrong with me? I'm so tired of this life. I was so tired of myself, so tired of my life. Tired of myself and tired of my life. Even after realizing how I was, and I was so unaware of how I was perceived to other people, it was almost like I was blind to it, I guess. Maybe because I was so self-consumed that I was blind literally to how I affected other people. I'm not sure. I don't understand everything up there, and I don't think I need to. Not everything. But yeah, that's how I was. And it was like my eyes opened. I could now see. I became hyper aware of everything. I was aware of things, but only in my lens, you know, my whole life. Only in my way. I only saw it. But after those lenses came off, I became so hyper aware of how I made people feel, how the things I would say, how it's making them feel. This was something that didn't exist in my mind, and now it was like full force. This is the only thing I can see, and it made me definitely more of a paranoid person. I always kind of was, but it definitely heightened that. It took control over me. Every time I entered a room, I'm like scanning everything, you know, like everything. I don't know how to describe it unless you do it. It's what I would start doing, and just scanning not just the people but also people's emotions, and like, okay, how is this person today? Or if I would walk into my job and like, you know, after you clock in, you put your stuff in your locker. I used to work at a grocery store, and then you go into your department and you kind of scan the zone, you know, how are people feeling today? How is it gonna be? I became very hyper aware, and I only started doing it more and more and more and more and more and more, and it got so much that I was like, I couldn't talk to people anymore. I didn't want to talk to people anymore. I was so uncomfortable in my skin, so uncomfortable sharing things with people, when before, when I was, you know, blind, I would share everything all the time. I didn't care. I think growing up, I was in a very sheltered situation where the people I was around were always, I had a huge Korean community where I grew up, so we all kind of just were always around each other, and those were the people that I knew. Going to art school, it's a very small community. The one I went to was very small. It was like 10, 12 people in a class. Yeah, your section was literally just like, it's a small community. I think I was also blessed to have a classmate of really kind people. There wasn't a lot of crazy, scary competitiveness. You know, there was competitiveness, obviously, but everyone was generally just nice. I feel like I was probably the meanest person in that class, actually, because I just would say things, you know? Like, was always a very honest, blunt person. It sometimes comes out when I'm like very comfortable, and I'll just say whatever is on my mind. So that's how I was. And then I became the complete opposite, where I think about everything I say before I talk. Anyways, though, I don't know what I was trying to say. I don't know what the point of all of that was. I was always kind of a paranoid, awkward, we're recording again. Being a negative person is a lot of work. The title is so true. The title he did for that sermon is just so true. It is a lot of unnecessary stress, unnecessary worry, unnecessary thinking, planning, exaggerating, feeling. You make all these assumptions and these stories in your mind. We do this all the time. Everyone's, you know, spectrum on that is different, but we do this all the time. I would be so paranoid going into work, even before I started work, even before I entered the grocery store. I'm just like I was so uptight, I guess you can say. I was so uptight and so paranoid and so uncomfortable and so thinking so much. It is exhausting to think so much. Maybe it's the lights he doesn't like, you know, because the lights are in his face. I mean, they're in my face too, but like, girl! But I know for me, whenever I fear anything, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and automatically I assume the worst. I assume, yeah, Willie's like, it's time, mama. All right, here we go. Sipping my coffee. He thinks he wants some because I'm having some, but he doesn't want some. Trust me, you don't want no coffee, Willie. The microphone's right here, so I want to make it, I mean, still though, the fact that I can wear this shirt, this freaking shirt, put my hair down is amazing. Haven't been able to do that for some years now. Pardon all my flying.